expect you've heard about our ghost, the smuggler Tom Cutter. He used to bring in his goods to the cove on Seadrift Island they now call Cutter's Cove. And he was regular at the pub on the island. That's where he met his end, they say, hung by agents of the Crown. There'll be those who say he was shot or drowned. But my old gaffer knew the story, and he swore he strung old Tom up from the hotel side. Ready to head back to the island, Mr. Poirot?
Not quite yet.
I know we haven't been properly introduced, but I'm Will Jenks, and I've heard you're a famous detective.
I am the detective, it is true. But famous? No. That is something of an exaggeration.
Steady on, old boy.
Bah! Hastings, you caution me against braggadocio, so I display modesty, and still you find fault.
It's my young lady, Gladys. Maybe you've seen her at the Smuggler's Rest?
Bien, you are a lucky young man.
I do know that, Mr. Poirot. Not many girls in these parts can hold a candle to my Gladys. But lately she's been very distant to me.
She is of the opinion that you are seeing someone else.
But that's nonsense.
Someone she called only the slip of a girl?
But who? She means that Marshall girl what arrived a few days ago. She's been following me about ever since I first took him across on the sea tractor.
Have you encouraged Madame Marshall?
I should hope not. Why, she's just a kid. She'd be in school if she wasn't tossed out of that posh girls' school of hers.
In some ways, yes. Perhaps she is, as you say, still the kid. In others, who can tell? Where has she followed you?
She'll call for the sea tractor. I'll bring her across. Then she'll want to go right back to the island again. Then she's always hanging about the garage here. I think she may be a thief too.
What makes you say that?
Well, my shovel's gone missing, hasn't it? And I first noticed it were gone right after one of her visits here. You believe me, don't you, Mr. Poirot?
Yes, but it is not important that I believe you. It is Gladys who must believe.
I'll wring that Linda Marshall's neck for her.
I will have the talk with Mademoiselle Marshall. In the meantime, there will be no wringing of the necks. Promise me.
I promise.
The village is practically abandoned.
Yes? Did I keep you waiting? I'm afraid I'm not myself today. I'm ever so distracted trying to solve this mystery.
A mystery? Sounds promising.
What is the nature of your mystery, madame?
Several letters have gone missing over the past few days. I can't understand it. I'm terribly conscientious with the post, I promise you. Someone must be stealing them.
Were the letters valuable?
No. They were important to my customers who were expecting them, perhaps, but none contained money or anything like that. Still, my customers are complaining, and I'm at a loss to explain it. May I help you, sir?
No, merci.
You can borrow that if you like. You can just take that. No charge. I'm sorry, sir. You mustn't touch that. I use the test tubes to test for chemicals and to make up the various solutions and powders I dispense by prescription, and the microscope to look for impurities.
It is a shame not to have access to the equipment, Hastings. It would be handy to be able to test various substances you come across in your investigation. There is no need to send a telegram at the moment, Hastings.
May I help you, sir?
Do you have any books on the caring for the wild birds?
I know we have a book on local birds somewhere. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Birding on Devon's Shores by Major Marcus Touchberry. And yes, here's a chapter describing some treatments for various afflictions. Oh dear.
What is it?
Most of the time the author says to just shoot them. There's another chapter of recipes.
How much is the book, please?
50 pence for the week. Thank you for your business, sir.
I am returning a book for Mrs. Casser.
Oh, Love's Captive by Mrs. Arabella Richardson. I've read that one. It's a classic.
How anyone can call that rot a classic is beyond me.
I agree, Hastings, but we should not judge.
You're right, of course, old man. Not everyone can appreciate true classics like Rough Shooting or By Motor Across Asia.
Do you have any books suitable as an anniversary present for a wife?
To purchase, you mean, sir? Not many. Let me see. Tell me about your wife, sir. Are you interested in spicing up your relationship a tittle?
No, no spice is needed.
Lady Chatterley's lover is right out, then. What else? Is she fond of murder, sir?
I should hope not.
Too bad. Murder's very popular.
Lucky for you, Poirot. Shouldn't like to see you out of a job.
Keep searching, if you please.
I don't suppose she knits.
But of course she knits. Very much she knits.
Here's a brand new book we just got in. Easy French Knitting Patterns by Eugenie Blottieri. 1 and 6, please.
Huh? £1 6 shillings?
Colour illustrations cost a bit more.
I need more money, Hastings.
Wire your bank.
Madame, I find myself short of the required funds. I need to wire my bank.
Of course, sir. Just step over to the post office, if you please. Thank you, sir. I'll send it off directly.
Madame, what is the name of this creature?
That's my Chloe. Isn't she a cutiekins?
Delightful.
I say, there's an envelope stuck down there behind the cabinet.
I see it, Hastings. I also see the cat.
Look at the size of that brute. A life ring, boy. Very handy if the pub should start to sink.
Like to try your hand at a game of darts?
No merci.
Maybe later then.
Perhaps. Not many customers today.
What could you expect? Most of the town has been evacuated. And very few tourists turn up these days.
Does that formidable dog belong to you?
Yes, that's Baskerville. I've had him since he was a small... well, he was never that small.
You enjoy the playing of the darts?
Darts is my game, right enough. It's been a tradition in these parts for centuries. Did you know the famous smuggler Tom Cutter was an expert dartsman?
No, I did not.
Struth. He played at the smuggler's end almost every night when he wasn't out at sea. A masterful player was old Tom. They say he scored more ton 80s than anyone before or since.
Ton 80s, Hastings.
The highest possible score in a single throw, Poirot. 3 darts, all inside the inner narrow ring of the 20 wedge.
I trust Baskerville is the excellent watchdog.
Oh, hey. We have never had any trouble in here since Baskerville's come of age. Can't trade him to do anything, of course. But with Baskerville, growling works a treat.
Has Baskerville ever bitten anyone?
Well, doesn't need to, does he? All he has to do is growl.
Have you ever seen Tom Cutter's ghost?
No, but I've heard of them that has. If I was lucky enough to meet up with a ghost, I'd challenge him to a game of darts.
And how did he die?
He was hanged by the excise men from the Smuggler's End sign. It's said he walks again every year on the anniversary of his death.
And on what day did he die?
August 24th, that's right. Tonight is the anniversary of Tom Cutter's murder.
Monsieur Cutter lived at the Smuggler's End?
Hey, it was the only lodging on the island until the hotel was built a few years ago.
Do you know anything of Tom Cutter's treasure?
A lot of folk have looked high and low for the treasure, but no one's found so much as a farthing in all these years.
Thank you for the conversation, my friend.
Stop in any time. Maybe we can have a darts match.
From the look of those awards, this chap Bagby's won quite a few dart championships.
Bonjour, Colonel Weston.
Poirot, my old friend, what brings you to Leathercombe Bay?
A short trip to the seaside to replenish their little grey cells.
You stopping at the Smuggler's Rest? Damn shame, old man. I expect to get orders to close up the hotel any day now. This is one of the last coastal areas to be evacuated.
You're in charge of the Home Guard?
Yes, I've set up camp in the Leathercombe Bay police station now that their constables left for Modbury to help there.
Dangerous times, Colonel.
Indeed. I have spotters up and down the stretch of coastline. We've had several sightings of U-boats quite close to shore this month alone.
Mon Dieu! When?
Let's see. August 5th, the 13th, the 16th, and again just last night, the 23rd.
Poirot, those dates don't match at all with Mrs. Castle's calendar.
It is true what you say, Hastings. Have you noticed any suspicious characters about?
Any stranger is suspicious these days. Did you have someone specifically in mind?
I came upon a man who called himself North. He seemed to be trying to gain entry to the Smuggler's End pub.
I have the only key. If he's that thirsty, he'll have to come over here to the mainland or break in. I'll keep a lookout for him. If you could get me a picture, I could send it off to Scotland Yard and see if they can come up with anything.
May I borrow the key to the Smuggler's End? I would like to see if I can discover what interests him.
Be my guest. Regular law enforcement stretched pretty thin these days.
Is that your stethoscope?
Belongs to Dr. Neasden, a local coroner. He left it here last night. I was going to return it to him.
Say, that would work a treat if we wanted to listen at doors.
May I borrow it?
Practicing medicine without a license, Poirot.
It may be useful. One never knows.
You're welcome to it. I'm sure Neasden has others.
Do you have the file of the Millie Parsons murder case?
Yes, at my office in Kingsbridge. A bad business. I'll have it sent over this afternoon.
Many thanks, Colonel.
All right, Poirot. We've known each other a good many years. You need a stethoscope and the key to the pub? You'll forgive my saying so, but this sounds like a busman's holiday to me. If you are onto something, don't you think you'd better share?
My friend, I have only the suspicions. But yes, I think there may be some cloud hanging over Seadrift Island. A number of items have gone missing. There is tension in the air. It was never my intention to take on a case here. But now, my visit may have become what you say, the busman's holiday.
Well, let me know if you uncover any serious evidence of a crime. I'll be here in Leathercombe Bay tomorrow if you need me.
Many thanks, my friend.
I'm off now, over to Kingsbridge for a district guard meeting.
Farewell. Bonjour, monsieur.
Hello, a new face. Join me, sir. Blatt's the name. Horace Blatt.
Hercule Poirot.
Hairdresser, are ya?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I dunno. Something about your manner.
I am not a dresser of hairs. I am a detective.
A detective?
Oui, it is true. I arrived only last night. You are the avid sailor, Monsieur Blatt.
Used to sail quite a bit as a boy. Not this part of the world. Off the east coast. I could have a first-rate yacht if I liked, but somehow I don't really fancy it. Much rather muck about in that little yawl of mine.
You would rather do the sailing yourself, perhaps? Rather than a crew?
Got it in one, Monsieur Poirot. I like being in control, I suppose. Feeling the boat respond as I put her through her courses. Same with business too, come to think of it. Made me what I am today. You've heard of Blatt's Hardware, I'm sure.
I may have.
Biggest concern of its kind in London.
It is not often one sees this sailboat with a red sail.
Oh, I like a bit of change. No harm in it, I suppose.
None at all. What brings you to Seadrift Island?
Don't really know why I came here. I suppose it sounded romantic. Smuggler's Rest. Makes you think of when you were a boy. Pirates, smuggling, all that.
What do you think of our fellow guests?
Mostly a dried up lot of sticks if you ask me. That Mrs. Marshall. She's the only lively one in the place. I should think Marshall's got his hands full with her. Oh, Redfern's all right too, I guess. He's been out once or twice with me in my yawl. Can't get hold of him now, always hanging about Mrs. Marshall. Afraid I have to run over to Kingsbridge.
You will sail no more this afternoon?
I think not. Saw a bank of fog sitting off the coast when I was out before. Expect it'll roll in before evening. Wouldn't want to get caught in it along this coast. Good day to you, Monsieur Poirot.
Now, why should the fact that you're a detective get his wind up? Poirot!
Hairdresser?
Like a ride to the island?
Yes, please.
Let's be off then. The Home Guard isn't all old gents doddering around in their great war kit. There's quite a few lads like me who are itching to get into it, but weren't allowed to enlist. We train. We know how to fight.
Précisément, we progress.
Now rub the mineral oil onto the bird with this brush. This will make the motor oil easier to remove.
I scrubbed the poor thing with mineral oil. I suppose we're fighting oil with oil.
Eh bien, now I must apply the detergent to the brush. Précisément, we progress.
Now rub the detergent onto the bird with this brush to remove the oils.
We progress. Now we must rinse the bird. I will turn on the taps. We are almost finished, mademoiselle. Dry the bird with these towels. Splendid work, Mademoiselle Musher.
I confess I didn't think we could pull it off, Poirot. Well done all round.
Now, Mademoiselle, all that remains is to return our feathered friend to Sanctuary Cove.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Poirot. You are such a dear.
You're blushing, old fellow.
Nonsense.
Gladys won't be happy when she sees this.
Although I am sure that the sight would amuse you, Hastings, Poirot will not engage in such activities for the duration of this tale. Perfection.
That dartboard looks centuries old. I say, Poirot, see the carved letters? 2 N's and an E.
What have we here, Hastings? What have we here, Hastings?
Hello?
Yes, please.
On me way. I've been looking after the hotel garage and driving the sea tractor for almost 5 years now. Motor cars are my passion. I keep the guests' motors clean and full of petrol. I also tend to any repairs they might need as well. Just look at that Major Barry's motor now. A 1938 Triumph Dolomite. It's a beautiful piece of British style and manufacturing. I can't think but what the war effort will take all the great designers to work on tanks and whatnot.
Mr. Poirot!
She has enough candles in there to light up a church.
I beg your pardon, mademoiselle?
I'm so clumsy.
Mademoiselle, may I speak to you?
Of course.
Gladys is very upset with Will.
What has it got to do with me?
She believes that you are trying to come between them.
Oh, I didn't mean... I didn't know. I have no reason to hurt either one of them. I was just... Garage was a place to get away from the island.
Would you tell that to Gladys? I believe it would ease her mind.
Of course, of course. Thank you for telling me.
Are there any telegrams for me?
I'll just check. Of course, sir. May I help you, sir?
Do you have any book?
Here's a brand new book we just got in. Easy French Knitting Patterns by Eugenie Blottieri. 1 and 6, please.
Au revoir, madame.
Let's see. That will be 5 pence, if you please, sir. Thank you for your business, sir.
Like a ride to the island?
Yes, please.
Let's be off then. There's lots of talk of Tom Cutter's treasure. It's said to still be buried on the island somewhere. Jewels, gold, and all the usual in a chest. When I was younger, me mates and I would search for it. We were convinced it was up on that hill on the western side of the island. The way the story goes, Tom Cutter would spend hours up there just looking out over the sea. We never found so much as a singular coin, though.
Monsieur Gardner, do you think your wife would like this book?
Easy French knitting patterns. Poirot, you're a genius.